Hello, it's good to see you. Today we are back with some more wardrobe malfunction stories, but I wanted to let you know first of all, I don't think I'm going to be able to read them all because I got so many. I didn't realize that I had gotten so many stories. I was looking through them last night and I still have probably close to 200 stories that I have not even printed out yet. And at this rate, I'm just not going to be able to read them all, unfortunately. I do apologize to people that have sent me stories that I have not been able to read, but I was not expecting to get that many. So, because I want to get on with the picking out the outfits and everything, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and read all of the stories. I'm going to read everything, whether I make a video or not. I'm going to make sure I read everybody's story, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick 5 stories. I mentioned this earlier, and I'm not taking any more. I'm done. I'm not taking any more stories, but I'm going to pick 5. Maybe do like 5 winners and then 2 honorable mentions, so that if the 5 people I pick, if I have a couple that don't respond when I contact them or they don't want an outfit, I can pick one of the honorable mention people. So we have a total of 5 people to do outfits for. I'm going to pick those people, and then we're going to put together outfits. I'm going to contact the people, find out what they would like, things like that. And then I'm going to go thrift shopping and pick out some outfits for people. And then we can do a video looking at the outfits and stuff. So I'm really excited about that. And I'm sorry it's taken me so long to get to this point, but I just been doing other stuff. But yeah, I'm wearing my big balls. Did you notice these big balls? This is from the last Goodwill. No, I don't know if it was the last Goodwill video, but this was in one of the Goodwill jewelry bags. I started not to keep it, but I couldn't bring myself to let it go. It's just neat. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, though. I may not keep it forever, but I have it for now. I just thought it was awesome. It's heavy, though. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to finish reading the stories that I've printed out. And then maybe we could do a video where I win the 5 winners and the honorable mentions. And then I can tell you a little bit about what we're going to be shopping for those people. What kind of things they're looking for as far as outfits go after I get in contact with everybody. So I'm going to spend the next couple days trying to get the stories read, and then I'm going to contact the winners. So if you won, I will contact you and I will let you know, and then I'm going to proceed further from there. So it's exciting. I love putting together outfits for people. So I want to get on with it. Okay, so we have left, let me see, about 7 1/5 pages of stories, wardrobe malfunction stories, and these are going to be the last ones I read as far as just all the submissions. But yeah, we'll go ahead and read the ones I have now. Okay, the first one is from Talia. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Submitting my wardrobe malfunction story. When I was maybe 15, my family and I drove to Canada for a day trip. When we arrived, I was getting out of the car and my sister told me I had a big tear in the seat of my pants. It's amazing how often that happens and people don't notice. We had to go to a shop with my mom walking behind me and bought a shirt that was too large so it would cover the hole. So I had to spend the day like that. Well, at least you were able to cover it up. Now this one is from Berta. When I was a leader in a girls' club, one of the items we were to put on for the end of the year parents' show was a set dance routine to the music of Oliver. The young girls were to dress like street urchins, and I brought in an outfit for myself as part of my pack everything just in case that would happen. Sticking plasters, hairpins, etc. However, one child took sick that night, and the space they left really confused their sense of where they should be standing and what they should be doing. It also meant uneven numbers. Shudder. They begged me to take the space, and I gave in. Part of the dance routine involved a sort of a cannon where the dancers stretched out as if begging in synchronization, one by one down the line. I stretched out, and my trousers fell down. There was a delay of, I am sure, only seconds, but what seemed like an eternity before I pulled them up. Part of the delay was the reaction of the minister, an extremely serious man who was sitting with the special guests, who broke into peals of laughter. I was so bamboozled by him laughing that it delayed my gut instinct to pull them up by a couple of seconds. That would be kind of confusing. A new variation compared to the old one of "you might have to go to hospital" of why it is a good idea to have your best underwear on. Yeah, never thought about your pants falling down. I thought she was going to say they ripped, but apparently not. Now this one is from Marie from Germany. So I'm an ER/ED nurse and need comfy and non-visible underwear. In Germany, our employer gives us our scrubs. The trousers need to be knotted with a band on the side, and since male and female need to get in theirs, this slit and the side, and you can see the underwear. The amount of times I walked around with people seeing my thong is horrifying. So I started to buy skin-colored seamless underwear. So when H&M had a sale coming up, I went there after my night shift. Stupid, I know, but I figured the mall would be mostly empty so early in the day. So I looked around, could not find anything, and went on the hunt for coffee. I soon noticed some older gentlemen following me around, kind of smiling funny, and people would smile at me in passing too. So my tired brain was like, why the heck are they so happy first thing in the morning? So I wander around the mall, sip coffee, and dip in and out of stores, but not finding anything that wasn't pink, frilly, and very visible. At some point, I noticed the older dude still being like close by and looking kind of flustered. After some time, being awake for 20 hours, I snap at him in the middle of the mall, asking what the F his problem is and demanding that he leave me alone. Well, he was the store detective, like an anti-theft guy, and was following me around because I kind of stole something. Turns out I managed to hook some huge cream-colored granny panties on my backpack while leaving the first store. I ran around the mall with this horrid thing hooked to my back for about 2 hours and then yelled at the poor guy so even the last person would notice. This guy, bless his stuck-up German heart, was too embarrassed to tell me about the undies and kind of hoped they would fall off on their own. Bless his heart. He didn't want to do that. Oh my gosh, that's awful. Okay, that's terrible. Now this one is from Naomi. I was quite young, around 14. I never went to the theater before. My whole family isn't the going out in pretty clothes type of family, but there was a play I really wanted to see, so I convinced my dad to come with me. We didn't know what to wear. I didn't even have any pretty clothes. So after consulting with my mom, I ended up going in a t-shirt that was way bigger than me and had some awful, really colorful pattern on the front, and in a pair of purple shorts, which were also too big for me, with a big Mickey Mouse on the side. We thought it was classy enough. My father didn't look much better either. Needless to say, as soon as we stepped foot in the theater, I wished I could disappear. Everyone was looking at me the whole time. Even since then, I'm really self-conscious about what to put on in the theater, and I'm always afraid that people are going to be looking at me again. Oh, but at least we always have a good laugh when it comes up. Thanks for reading, and thank you for the videos and stories that you share. They make our days so much better. Well, I hope it didn't ruin your experience at the theater. I hope you still had a good time. That had to be awkward, though. There is nothing worse than showing up somewhere and you're not dressed. You think you're supposed to dress a certain way, and you get there and everybody's totally different, whether you're overdressed or underdressed. I've done that. I've had that happen. It's uncomfortable. Okay, now this story is from Rebecca. Not sure if this is technically a wardrobe malfunction, but while it wasn't funny at the time, I do get a kick out of it now. The day of my wedding, the bridal party was all at my parents' house getting ready. Everything so far had gone perfectly. It was time to get into the limo and head to the church, but I figured I should go to the bathroom first. I was so preoccupied with not peeing on my dress that I didn't realize I had put my heavily made up face right into the bottom of the dress I was holding up. Oh no. After I was all put back together, there it was, a bright red lipstick smear, very noticeable on the front of my dress. Oh no. We managed to get it looking better, but it was definitely noticeable all night. Luckily, my photographer could edit it out of the pictures, and my dress has been cleaned and preserved. It's just something to laugh about now. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's awful. There is nothing worse than having to pee when you're wearing a wedding dress. Or like a prom dress or any kind of, oh God. Oh, that's terrible. I probably wouldn't have thought of that either. I would have, yeah, you just try to keep everything up. Dang, that's bad. Now this story is from Heather. So we grew up on a very yuppie island. Everyone was so high class. Everyone knows everyone and everyone talks. My mom decided to take us to the beach and made a beautiful swimsuit cover to wear. It came down just over her hips and was a light linen material. She got my twin and I dressed and lunch packed up, loaded us in the car, and headed off. We stopped at the only grocery store on the island for some drinks and then stopped for gas. We finally get to the beach and my mom sets up the lounge chairs and food, goes to sit down and realized that she forgot her pants. She had put the swimsuit cover on and got busy getting us ready and just forgot the pants. Wouldn't have been a big deal except she had made those stops on the way and talked to everyone she knew pantless. She was embarrassed about it for years, and we'd always remind her to not forget her pants. Oh my gosh. That's funny. And this story is from Jill. I just saw your wardrobe malfunction video and love the idea. Not sure how many messages you'll receive, and no hurt feelings if I'm not selected. My story is pretty simple, but I wanted to send it along anyway, and hopefully you'll get a chuckle. Thanks so much for all you do. My story requires a bit of background. In middle school, I was pretty much the textbook awkward, late bloomer orchestra kid who got made fun of by the popular kids. It didn't bother me too much, but I decided going into high school that I wanted the rest of my time before college to be as socially frictionless as possible. So I shed my beluga whale backpack. Yes, I carried a backpack that was shaped like a beluga whale in middle school. Personally, I think that's kind of cool. I'd like to see that. And I saved up my money to buy one pair of white Bermuda shorts from Abercrombie. This was a big deal because Abercrombie was out of the price range of clothing that my family could afford. So I went to my first day of school wearing the shorts, ready to debut my new identity and feeling like $1,000,000. Turns out I went through the whole day with one of those giant-sized stickers running down the butt, which was pointed out to me at the end of the day when I was getting on the bus. Oh, that's bad. Turns out you can't change who you are with a pair of designer shorts. Who knew? 15 years later, though, I can say I'm still the awkward beluga whale backpack-wearing nerd on the inside and proud of it. Well, you should be. Don't change who you are to try to impress people. People are stupid. Don't worry about impressing them. I hate that about the sticker, though. That's a bummer. It sucks, too, because you saved up your own money to buy those shorts. Man, that's a bummer. Now, this story is from Audrey. Hi, Mary. So I would like to share my fashion mishap. I had bought this super cute vintage pencil skirt from a local thrift store. I was so excited to wear it for the first time, but had to run by the DMV before work. I arrived before opening, so there was a small line of people outside. It had been raining, so there were small puddles throughout the parking lot. I reached the sidewalk, and as I go to leap over a puddle, I hear the seam split. Yep, all the way up the back of the skirt. I try to cover myself as best I can and sprint back to my car, but it was too late. Everyone waiting in the DMV line that morning got a full view of my backside. I waited about a week to go back. Hopefully by then no one would recognize me. Not that they would recognize me by my face when they all saw my rump. Oh, no. like pencil skirts. They're cute, but that is the one problem. You can't take a proper step in them. That's why I don't really, I used to wear them occasionally. I don't really wear them anymore because it gets on my nerves. I want to be able to walk normally. And this story is from Lauren. When I was 10 or so, I wanted to dress up for Take Your Daughter to Work Day, but all of my fancy clothes were from when I was younger. So I just put on my little powder blue skirt and jacket with some pantyhose and kitty heels. All day my mom kept getting annoyed because I was tugging at my crotch, pardon the phrase, LOL. She takes me into the ladies' room and I show her that the pantyhose inseam was like halfway down my thighs. She was so frustrated until I said I wanted to look like her. Oh, so she rolled her eyes and we went to the drugstore and got pantyhose that fit because I refused to not wear hose. Wardrobe malfunction that my mom and I still laugh and reminisce about. That's cute though that you want to look like your mom. And the story is, I'm going to mispronounce this name, I'm sorry, Emylt, E-M-Y-L-T. I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with that. The most recent malfunction. It wasn't too big. I recently had a baby and I bought clothes from Goodwill with easy access to breastfeed her. Anyway, I bought one shirt that I loved. It had buttons up top and the buttons flared out. I thought, perfect. It covers my fat mommy tummy. We decided to go to an apple farm with the family. In the first 2 hours, I had about 8 people look at my breast with this face. This emoji. I thought, I guess the breastfeeding is making my boobs look nice. Well, it was finally time to breastfeed my baby. Mind you, this was the first time I wore the shirt. I look down to unbutton the shirt and I see the tag on my left clavicle area. I'd been wearing the shirt backwards all day. I bought the shirt for easy access because of the buttons. Turns out the buttons belong on the back. I've worn it a few times since and still wear it backwards because it still looks nice and it's convenient. You just cut the tag out, nobody's gonna know. They might have been looking at your boobs though. I don't know that many people would notice your shirt was backward. Okay, this story is from Alexandra. I thought I'd share a wardrobe malfunction story with you, so here it goes. For most of my life, I've been the type of person to rip pants. So I feel like I have an unbelievable amount of pants ripping stories. What is up with that? What are you doing? But this is a funny recent one. Last year I was visiting my friend in NYC. It was my first time there. I'm from Canada. And I had only brought one pair of jeans with me because I was only staying for a week and I packed light. On the last day of the trip, I decided I wanted to go out and sit on my friend's fire escape to check out the view. I started climbing out the window, but I'm fairly petrified of heights, so my gut reaction was sort of to fall back into the apartment once I saw the long way down through the slats of the fire escape. When I swung my leg back through the window, the crotch of my pants ripped, and the rip continued all the way around behind my leg, so there was just a huge gaping hole in my jeans. I didn't have any other bottoms, so I had to wear them like that to the airport with sport shorts underneath. I really need to get better at understanding the boundaries of my denim, LOL. I've had to get jeans professionally patched because I rip them so often and my stitching doesn't hold. All the best. What is the deal with that? I don't think I've ever had that happen, and this person's apparently had it happen a lot. Do you do a lot of splits or jumping jacks? It's interesting. And that story is from John. It was Halloween of 1999, and I was 8 years old at the time. My family had just returned from a vacation to Disney World, which was a huge deal for us. It was my first time on an airplane, and it was such a special experience. Since we were arriving back home the afternoon of Halloween, we were trying to keep our costumes simple that year, knowing we would be tired out from a busy week and a day of travel. Also, any time we normally would have invested in creating more elaborate costumes in the week or two before Halloween was dedicated to preparing for our trip. So I opted to dress as a mummy that year. Choosing the simplest of materials, the extent of my costume was wrapping myself in toilet paper. Had I known then what a precious commodity toilet paper would become in 2020, I'm sure I would not have used it so frivolously. All would have been fine had it not been for the rain that came halfway along our trick-or-treating route. As you can imagine, it wasn't long before my costume was disintegrating in clumps all over town. However, a full bag of Halloween candy makes a great consolation for any kid with a ruined costume. So you basically got to TP the town anyway, without meaning to. Okay, this story is from Courtney. Here's a funny wardrobe malfunction story. I had gotten my days mixed up and slept over my mother's, believing it was a Saturday. Meanwhile, it was a Sunday. I get a phone call bright and early from my friend. We work together. She goes, "Hey, I'll be there to pick you up in 10 minutes. And I was like, "What? It's Sunday. We're off." She goes, "No, it's Monday. We've got to get to our first client's house." So lo and behold, I'm scurrying to get ready. I clean houses for a living, mind you, so we need to wear scrubs. My mother is a tiny woman, usually a size small or extra small. I say to my mother, "Hey, I have to borrow a pair of scrubs off you. I have to go to work." So I squeeze my not-so-small buns in her scrub pants, knowing this wasn't a good idea the whole time, and threw on her scrub top. I managed to find a size medium. Well, anyway, I'm dressed, I'm ready. I get in the car and I start my day. Everything was going smoothly, and then the you-know-what hit the fan. I crouched down to clean the baseboards, and bam, it happened. The whole seam of the butt split from mid-calf to the top of the waistband. Good Lord. I felt like I was going to have a heart attack. I hurried and looked around me to find out. Yep, Mr. Pope had just seen my entire ass. I was thinking to myself the whole time, why didn't I just wear the leggings I had slept in? No one would have even noticed. I hope you got a jiggle out of this. Jay, I think it's supposed to be giggle. I got a little jiggle. And by the way, I tied a sweater around my waist and walked around like that all afternoon. Good Lord, so it split mid-calf. We're not talking about just a little rip. Mid-calf to the top of the waistband. Good golly. How embarrassing. I bet it was loud too. That's a big rip. Okay, this story is from Elena. My ex and I had just gotten into a huge fight, and I stormed out and walked over to a nearby park to cool down. It was nighttime and a little chilly out, but I was so angry I didn't really care. After a little while, my ex came out and found me sitting on the grass under a tree. He sat down with me and we continued to argue. I was determined not to back down on this one. Eventually, we decided it was cold, and if we were going to keep fighting, we should go back inside. I stood up and started to walk away when he said, "There's something on your pants." I sat in dog crap. I had been sitting in dog crap for the last half hour and had no idea. This fight kind of fizzled after that. It's hard to stay serious when all you can smell is poop. But turns out the relationship was full of crap, hence he's my ex now. I watched your video and that's about the only wardrobe malfunction I've had. Oh, that's bad. Yeah, I guess that does kind of diffuse the argument. That changes the subject. This story is from Becky. So here is my funny wardrobe malfunction. After my first heart attack, I lost some weight and all of my clothes were a little too large. I normally would just wear a pair of jeggings to run out to the grocery store in my small town. One day, all of my jeggings were in the laundry, so I just grabbed a pair of jeans out of my closet. I was walking through the produce aisle of a very crowded store, and my pants fell down to my ankles. Whoa. My youngest daughter was with me, and she lets out a massive horse laugh, and everyone turned around to look. I yanked my pants up and went to the car. My daughter bought those groceries. Oh my God. all the way down to your ankles. Dang, that's not even subtle. That sucks. Yeah, I don't blame you for making her buy the groceries. This story is from Krista. My wardrobe malfunction story happened when I was about 13 years old. My teenage years ended up being a whole wardrobe malfunction. I think that's true for a lot of people. I wore dated clothes and my style left much to be desired. It would not be unusual for me to wear a shirt or a skirt backwards, spill something on me, or randomly snag my clothing on something and get a tear. Anyway, one of my favorite outfits was a plaid dark green and navy jumper with thin yellow stripes. It had red flowers along the collar, so I would wear it with a red shirt. I picked this outfit to wear to church on Sunday, and when I arrived at church, I noticed I had put my shirt on inside out. Thankfully, I had caught my malfunction in time. I quickly went into the women's bathroom and put my shirt on the right way. Well, I exited the bathroom, took my place in the choir, and sat through the sermon and talked to a few friends after church was over. I didn't feel throughout the service that my jumper was fitting right, but I just assumed it was normal. On the way home, my mom made the remark that my jumper looked different and asked if I was wearing it backwards, a normal question in my teenage life. I looked down, and not only was I wearing it backwards, I was wearing it inside out. In the 2 to 3 hours I was at church with about 150 people, not one person said a thing to me. I was so mortified. And no, I didn't learn from my mistake. Although I never wore a jumper backwards and inside out again, I still had trouble making sure my clothing was on the right way. Thankfully, in my 20s, I grew out of it when fashion became more of a priority than an afterthought. Bless your heart. Oh, my cat's saying hello. That's Olive.
Kitty! Oh, look! I have a kitty!
Well, she's flat in my lap. Come here. Come here.
Look at the girl. Look at the girl. She's so big. She's so big. You hear it?
She said, put me down. What are you doing? Where are you going? Whoop. She does not know it yet, but she's going to hate me on Monday. She has to go to the vet. She's getting spayed on Monday. So, she's very happy right now, though. She's very needy. She's very needy. But anyway, that is all of the stories that I have printed. Now, I am going to read them all. So, if you sent me a story, I'm definitely going to read it. And if I pick you as one of the winners or one of the runners up, you'll be hearing from me in the next day or two. So, yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. I'm really excited. So I'm looking forward to start putting together some outfits for people. And I'm gonna let you see what we're doing. So, yay. But thank you so much for watching. I hope that you have a wonderful day. And I'll see you again soon.